The 75-year-old Vietnam veteran was just sitting in his parked truck until the police officers handcuffed him. But when he said call the Pentagon, that small town was never the same again. Robert "Bobby" Martinez had only stopped for coffee that evening. At 75, with faded jeans and an old brown jacket, he tried not to draw attention. The 1968 Vietnam patch on his arm was barely visible, but no one was looking anyway. Bobby was returning from the VA clinic. His heart medications had been renewed. The young doctor had thanked him. "Thank you for your service, Sergeant," he had said. Bobby had just smiled. "I appreciate it, Doc." The drive home was long but peaceful until his stomach rumbled. When he saw Ruby's Diner, he pulled into the gravel lot. The place hadn't changed in 40 years. Same neon sign, same checkered floor. In his youth, before enlisting, he used to mop these floors. Bobby parked his old Ford pickup in the back. His license plate still bore the veteran tag. He sat for a moment, watching the horizon fade from gold to purple. Hands on the steering wheel, a song from his youth played low on the radio. Sam Cooke, "A Change Is Gonna Come." Two local patrol officers sat in their cruiser, windows cracked, half watching. One, young and twitchy, nudged the other. "Hey, that guy's been sitting there too long." The other shrugged. "He looking for something?" The younger cop narrowed his eyes, or hiding something. They didn't recognize the Vietnam insignia, didn't care about the veteran plates. All they saw was an old Hispanic man in an oversized coat, in the wrong place, looking too calm for their comfort. Inside the diner, Bobby nodded to the waitress. "Just coffee tonight," he said gently, choosing a booth by the window. The place was quiet, a couple eating pie, a tired trucker scrolling his phone. No one noticed the squad car repositioning near the exit. But Bobby did. He'd seen that look before. Back in 71, at a checkpoint outside Pleiku. Young men with weapons and too much fear in their eyes. He didn't expect trouble, but he knew how fast it could find you. Bobby stepped outside just after 7:30 p.m. The night air was sharp with autumn chill. He adjusted his jacket, pulled his cap down low, and reached for the driver's side door. Behind him, gravel crunched. "Hey, sir," a voice barked, too forceful to be polite. "Step away from the vehicle." Bobby turned slowly. Two officers stood 10 feet away, one older, one younger. The second gripping a flashlight like a weapon. Its beam landing square on Bobby's chest. "Evening," Bobby said calmly, hands visible. "Everything all right, officers?" The older one, badge reading Ramsey, took a step forward. "That your truck?" "Yes, sir." "Mind telling us what you were doing out here?" "Stopped for coffee." "You've been sitting out here for a while," the younger one added, voice sharper. "What's in your jacket?" Bobby raised his hand slightly. "Cold evening. Nothing in the jacket but memories." That didn't land well, the younger one scoffed. "License and ID." Bobby moved slowly, speaking each word with care. "It's in my left pocket. Military ID too." Ramsey tensed. "Real slow." Bobby pulled out his wallet, opened it, and handed over the ID card. Faded but clear. Name, service number, a picture of a younger version of the man standing before them. The older officer glanced at it, then at Bobby. "Nice print job," he muttered. "You buy this online?" Bobby blinked once. "Excuse me?" The younger officer, badge reading Holt, chimed in. "You don't look like a paratrooper to me." There it was. Not curiosity, not protocol, just disbelief wrapped in contempt. "I served in Vietnam, 101st Airborne," Bobby said plainly. "Bronze Star. I got paperwork in the glove box if you want to check." But Holt was already circling the truck. Back of the car, hands flat now. Bobby's voice didn't waver. "On what grounds?" Ramsey stepped forward, tension snapping like wire. "You questioning us?" "No, sir. I'm asking for due process." That was all it took. Ramsey grabbed his arm. Holt pulled cuffs from his belt. Bobby didn't resist, but his voice, quiet and certain, cut through the dark. "Call the number in my phone marked Pentagon. You'll want to do it now." They didn't. Not yet. The cuffs locked in with a click that echoed louder than the night. Bobby's face didn't change, his breath visible in the cold. He allowed himself to be turned, pressed against the hood of his own truck, the same one he'd rebuilt with his grandson last summer. Impersonating a decorated veteran, Ramsey growled. Holt pulled open the cruiser door, grinning like a man proud of a prize. Bobby didn't flinch, didn't fight. Years in uniform had taught him something these boys had never learned. Real strength isn't loud. A voice called out from the diner steps. "Dale, what the hell are you doing?" Jenny, the night waitress, stood frozen, apron still on, coffee pot forgotten in her hand. She'd seen Bobby every few months for years. Always quiet, always kind. She'd seen the patch on his jacket, the way he held doors for old ladies, the way he always tipped exactly 50%. "For the ones who didn't come back," he once said. "He's a veteran," she said, stepping closer. "I've seen his ID. You're making a mistake." Ramsey turned toward her, puffed up with false authority. "Back inside, ma'am. This doesn't concern you." But it did. People were watching now. A teenage girl filming with her phone from the gas station across the street. A pair of truckers with arms folded, standing outside their rigs. Even the cook from Ruby's stepped out, wiping his hands on a towel, brow furrowed. Bobby met Jenny's eyes, didn't say a word. He didn't need to. They pushed him into the cruiser, hard. The doors slammed, the night muffled inside the vehicle. Leather seats creaked as Ramsey and Holt high-fived up front, congratulating each other on a clean takedown. Bobby sat quietly in the back, wrist burning, but back straight. He looked out the window at Ruby's neon glow fading behind him. In his pocket, his phone remained untouched. On the lock screen, a photo of Bobby in uniform, arm around his late wife, both smiling outside Fort Campbell. His voice finally broke the silence inside the cruiser. "Before you get too proud of yourselves," he said, calm as ever, "call that Pentagon number. The woman who answers used to report to me." The laughter stopped, but the damage had already begun. The Greystone police station sat behind a faded courthouse, squat and gray like it had grown tired of pretending to care. Inside, fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as Holt marched Bobby through the front entrance. The desk sergeant didn't even glance up, just slid a clipboard across the counter. "Impersonation of a federal officer," Holt muttered with smug certainty. "Resisting, too." Bobby said nothing. He'd marched through jungles with shrapnel in his leg and carried dying men across mud rivers. This was nothing but noise. They put him in a holding room. Cinder block walls, metal chair bolted to the floor, cuffed to the table like a threat. His jacket was tossed in the corner, his cap on the floor. Ramsey lounged near the doorway, coffee in hand, already talking big. "Going to be on the news for this one," he told Holt. "Maybe a commendation." Holt laughed, loud and unfiltered. "You see that badge? Looked like it came from a Halloween shop." Bobby sat still, breathing slow, watching the clock tick toward midnight. Then the door creaked. Not slammed, creaked. An older man stepped in, badge crooked on his chest, sleeves rolled halfway up. Chief of Police Ed Callahan. Tired eyes and a permanent wince, like life had given him too many late nights. He held Bobby's wallet in his hand, flipping the ID back and forth. "This say you're retired First Sergeant Robert Martinez." Bobby nodded once. "That's correct." "Bronze Star Vietnam?" "Yes." "And these two say you faked it." Callahan turned to Ramsey. "You verify the ID?" Ramsey shrugged. "Could be fake. No one dresses like that without trying to get attention." Callahan frowned. "Or maybe it's you two who need retraining." He tossed the wallet onto the table and folded his arms. "I got a voicemail from someone in D.C. A woman who sounded like she eats kernels for breakfast said you've got a number in that phone we'd better call." Bobby met his gaze. "Top right, label says Pentagon. You'll want it on speaker." Callahan hesitated, but curiosity outweighed arrogance. He dialed. 3 rings, then a clipped voice answered. "Office of Deputy Secretary Hargrove." Ramsey paled. Holt stopped smirking and everything started to shift. Callahan cleared his throat. This is Chief Ed Callahan of the Greystone Police Department. I've got a man here claiming he—" The voice on the other end cut him off like a blade through rope. "Chief Callahan, this is Deputy Secretary Hargrove. Where is Sergeant Martinez?" Ramsey and Holt froze. Bobby sat quietly, posture straight, a calm storm building in his gaze. Callahan tried to salvage the moment. "We had reason to believe he was impersonating—" "You detained a decorated war veteran," Hargrove snapped. "You ignored his ID, you cuffed him, humiliated him, and now you're calling me because he asked you nicely." The room went silent. "You have no idea who that man is," she continued, voice steel through the speaker. "He served under fire while you were still learning to spell chain of command. He trained half the men who briefed the Joint Chiefs today, and you treated him like a threat because of his skin and his silence." Ramsey's mouth twitched. Holt backed up, the color draining from his face. "You will release him right now, or I will have MPs at your door in 20 minutes and a call into your governor before sunrise. Is that clear?" Callahan nodded before realizing she couldn't see him. "Yes, ma'am." The cuffs fumbled open seconds later. Bobby flexed his wrists, slow and steady, like he'd done 1,000 push-ups on worse ground. Ramsey tried to mutter something, maybe an apology, maybe an excuse, but Bobby raised a hand. "Save it. I gave you a chance to do the right thing." He stood, not physically taller than before, but something in the air around him had shifted. "No," Bobby said, voice low. "A mistake is forgetting a name. This was a choice."